Let's discuss the beauty of imperfection. So whenever I teach you how to paint, we are learning constantly about leaving perfectionism at the door. And I want you to think about nature. I'm literally in nature right now. It is never the same 2 days in a row. Climate changes everything with nature. How much rain there is, how much sun there is. The birds change, how many eggs are laid, how many birds there are flocking away in one season. Trees look different. Sometimes they have lots of fruit. Every harvest is different. And I want you to think about that and think about how we don't rely and expect nature. We don't want nature to be perfect. So why do we put so much expectation on ourselves? And we are part of this beautiful world. And whenever it comes to the canvas and how we bring ourselves to that, I always want you to think about you and your true self and your story. You have years of stories. You have ups and downs, and I talk about the palette. You have murky colours on your life's palette, and you have joyful colours. You have times that you don't want to dwell on, and you have times that you would just love to go back and live over and over again. Well, let's bring that to the canvas. Let that be part of you learning the joy of imperfection and learning that your story is actually really powerful. I think about it whenever I come down, like, look here, I love where I live. Some days it looks like California and it looks like you just want to jump into the water, and other days it's like this, which is so murky, and that seaweed is disgusting. And I'm walking my dog as I talk to you, and whenever my dog goes into it, she stinks for days. I have to hose her down. But what do I think about? I think about how this is just a day. This is just another day on the calendar and another time for me to look and appreciate nature in its different forms. And I remember whenever I was at art college, a girl who's gone on to be a very successful contemporary artist, she had said to me, I'm inspired by everything. I'm inspired by the stuff that I walk past. I'm inspired by the streets that I walk down. And I thought to myself, what a pile of woo-woo nonsense. However, I would say that I am inspired by that. I would say that this murky water today is still while the sun is shining in the sky, and it's just seasonal, like the tide, like our moods, like our life. It's not one linear path. So stop expecting your paintings to be exactly like that, and stop putting the pressure on yourself. I don't need you to show up and to always be in the best of form, but what I want from you on my channel is for you to learn the skills so that you keep showing up. I show up for you as well as myself. I show up because showing up in front of the canvas is not always straightforward for me. The worry about making a living for my family is constantly in my head, and I have to use my skills to take myself away from that overthinking and need for perfection and need for meeting goals all the time. That striving. Art is the one thing that I know what to do, and that I know that it gives me headspace, it gives me lightness, it can change my mood, it can take my imperfections and make it part of the story. And that's why I love my abstract work, and eventually we'll get there. Maybe you're not there at the minute, but eventually I will lead you to try abstract so that you can lean into story and yourself, your creativity being so much greater than the outcome. Quite often people ask me, how long does a painting take you? And I used to feel so bad. I know that that's not actually the thing. What I bring to the canvas is 20 years of experience as a professional artist, is a degree and a master's where I dug so deep underneath the surface of colour. And whenever it comes to mixing colours in the workshops that I give you on here, I am leading you so that you have the tools and you have the template, but all the storytelling and the underneath and the self-acceptance just comes naturally because you work at that. Tips that I would say for letting go of imperfection, and also looking at art and nature and the beauty of imperfection and the beauty of change. In the mornings, I take a page and I scribble my thoughts. It's a brain dump. If you dig deep enough here, you will see that I talk a lot about grief too. And we all suffer grief and change and loss in our own way. It might not always be from the loss of a person or a dog. Like, I love my dog to pieces. The thought of losing her is devastating for me. It might be a change of identity. It might be that the kids have flown the nest. It might be that just your daily routine just doesn't make sense. And that all affects whether you give art space and time as well. The tools that we teach and the colour mixing that we colour mix. You mix a red and a blue to make purple. You add a little bit of white to that and you have this beautiful mauvey lilac-y colour. Your life is the same. Your routine, when you get up and you brain dump these bad thoughts, it's like taking your red and your purple and mixing them. And whenever you release it away, it's like when you add that white to make it prettier, to make it a mauvey colour. It is the gorgeous thing about taking control of what we have. So we can't control nature and we don't blame nature for it. When it comes to our art, don't blame yourself if it doesn't look exactly like you wanted it to look. If you don't feel like it's finished on day one, don't overthink and think that it can't be changed. As I say to my kids, everything is fixable. Everything except maybe when you cut the canvas too short, which I have done before, or when the frame warps. You can't really unchange that. You have to change the whole stretcher frame. But apart from that, everything else is fixable. So relax into your painting today. Use my demos. I would suggest that you try the still life one that is attached at the end. It's quick, it's speedy. And the other reason that we do that is I teach you speed, because whenever you have speed, you must let go of perfectionism, because you can't get the perfect outcome all the time. But then you'll stand back and it will tell a story that is so beautifully imperfect and so different from what it would be if everything was aligned and your cup of tea was perfectly warm and the kids were all around you, or the person that you were ringing was the end of the phone. Life doesn't always align, so take that expectation away from it and also just let yourself breathe into nature today. Even start to paint nature. You could use one of the landscape videos that I will also attach below. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. I am just loving this community. Thank you for the feedback, and keep leaning into being you, because you have the answers. Your paintbrush tells the story.